welcome back to another episode of WEC Icons. Today, we're with the car bringing the muscle to the LMGT3 class. Of course, it is the Mustang, a global icon, an American legend. There have been so many different variations of this car on the roads over the years, but today we're diving into the race car version. So let's get into it. Welcome to WEC Icons. Thank you so much for joining us. And first things first, would you mind introducing yourself for me, please?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Alex Almendinger, the global sports car manager for Ford.
What does that mean?
So I manage all of our sports car programs. So it's everything from LMDH, which obviously is our very exciting program that we're working on right now, with GT3, GT4, supercars over in Australia, and then our Mustang Challenge Dark Horse Art program that's racing here with us in WEC.
I forget how wide the Ford program is. It's so cool. But today, obviously, we're talking about this beautiful piece of machinery. Introduce her to me.
Yeah, so this is the Ford Mustang GT3. This holds a very, very special place in my heart. I worked on this program from basically the beginning all the way through to where it is today. And this is our dedicated Mustang racing at the top flight, racing in the GT3 class, an LMGT3 here in WEC.
And which road car is this based off of? Is there a specific version of the Mustang that it is?
Yes, yeah. So this is based on the Mustang Dark Horse, which was an all-new trim for the 7th generation Mustang that came out a couple years ago now. But that's been really exciting to be able to help shape and mold that product with a very, very close tie to racing. So that was from the beginning of the Dark Horse program. It was, how are we building the GT3, the GT4, the future platform for Mustang Challenge and Dark Horse R. It was cool to have that kind of new car, new trim to build on and work on during the process.
And now, obviously, we've got to do the basics. What engine's in this?
Yeah, so this has a Coyote V8. So it's just like
Coyote V8.
Coyote V8.
That's such a good name.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's the exact same engine you'd get on a Mustang at the dealer. So it starts as live. It's an aluminum block V8. Obviously has some modifications here for racing, and it's similarly, with the oiling system and a few changes. Obviously, with it being a V8, we can deliver basically endless torque and endless power. We can do quite a bit. It's got a lot of headroom, and it can do it without breaking a sweat. It can make the power all day long. And that was one of the main reasons we chose the Coyote.
What gearbox does it use?
Gearbox. So yeah, it's got an X-Track 6-speed sequential. So it's transaxle, so mounted in the back, which is a little different from the road car Mustangs. But that helps give us our weight distribution and balance. It's actually, interesting enough, it's the same kind of layout and for the gearbox as we have in the GTD road car that just came out. So a lot of that technology kind of going back and forth between what we did for the race car going into GTD, a little bit come from the GTD coming to the race car, and a lot of transfer there.
Now, the fun bit, let's talk about sort of the outside of the car. What are we looking at in terms of aerodynamics? I'm seeing lots of different vents, flaps, all sorts. What can you run me through here?
Yeah, I mean, everything you see aerodynamically is extremely functional from the beginning. It's starting with the front, so the car gets a bit wider than the production car and gets these really massive front fender vents. So we can pull and extract all the hot air from the tires and the brakes, pulling out of the front. And then the splitter obviously is a very efficient, piece of aerodynamic kit that helps put our front downforce on the car and it manages a lot of our front performance. Big hood vents here, extracting a lot of the hot air from the radiators, helping keep the big Coyote V8 cool. So that's a really important aspect of the car. And as we get to the back, obviously we got our brake inlets, our ducting, much wider door sill, and then these really cool rear wing mounts. So this, very non-traditional. This is something that's shared with the GTD car as well. Those are co-developed on the aerodynamic side, so these things came to life together. But this takes the aero load from the wing, instead of putting it into the boot or the deck lid, puts it straight into the chassis. So it's hard mounted to the roll cage here, straight into the suspension, which is a much more efficient way to transfer that load from the wing into the car.
And so you guys, have you gone for the adjustable rear wing, or is the front adjustable?
Yeah, so our adjustability is in the rear wing, so we can go and change the wing angle. It's got a pretty cool little turning mechanism in there. And then we can set the wing for different tracks, different efficiencies, and a place like Le Mans, you'd want less downforce and less drag, so we trim the wing out. And then places like here in street circuits, you go max downforce, really high angle of attack.
And since you mentioned the downforce that this car produces, tell me a little bit about the suspension and how it handles all of that.
Yeah. I mean, so it's all specific to this car. It's all aluminum space frame stuff. And so we use Multimatic DSSV dampers, and obviously that's our partner in manufacturing the car as well. So we're really close with them, and those are specialized and tuned just for this car. And not only just the amount of downforce it has, the weight of the car, the way it transfers the weight. So everything's kind of fine-tuned just for the Mustang.
I always love getting to ask this because I always learn something new. What is it that you think makes this car look like a Ford?
Yeah, so to me, it obviously shares a lot of the body panels, the roof, the doors. with a production Mustang you'd see at a dealer, but it's wider, more aggressive, and to me that captures what a Mustang is, right? It's powerful, it's big, it's mean looking, and I love that about the Mustang.
And in the WEC, it's obviously a collaboration working with Proton Competition. Can you talk me through your livery a little bit and some of the design choices on here? Because to me, it screams America.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, and we love that. And we took a lot of the kind of Ford styling cues and things that we share with some of our other cars racing in other series. You see like the ponies running alongside of the car. I love those. And then on the livery side, obviously capturing the red, white, and blue. We're America's racing team, right? Ford is. So capturing those colors, the kind of aggressive lines through it, and really encompassing what makes it look like a Ford, but also sharing that with the fans.
And coming round to the front of the car, it's so distinctive that I think it's really important that we dive into this a little bit more. Can you run me through some of the design details, things that also people may not understand or may have missed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think you look at this car, it's unmistakably a Mustang. And one of the big things you'll notice is the big front splitter coming far off the front of the car, making a lot of front downforce, and that helps keep the car planted. And then you get all these different openings as well, and there's openings everywhere, right? So we've got openings here, openings in the middle. So we have our driver cooling, the engine air inlet. Then you get down a bit lower, you get the radiator and oil cooling, and you get the brake cooling down there as well. So all these things are very functional, keeping the car cool, keeping the driver cool, keeping the engine cool. You got a big V8 in there to keep cool and maintain. So a lot of very functional components, but it still does a great job of looking like a Mustang.
We've taken the bonnet off, we've taken the hood off. I'm learning. I wonder if first and foremost, you can just talk me through what we're seeing in front of us, because this is so unbelievably cool.
Yeah, I'd love to. So obviously the big V8 is the beating heart of any Mustang, especially this Mustang, the GT3 here. So you can barely see the engine in these shots. It's very low, very far back. It's pushed all the way to the ground to get the center of gravity as low as possible and more towards the middle, closer to the driver, to get that weight balance closer, to 50-50 and what we want on the race car. But besides that, the new location, a lot of it's really shared with the production car. So you see a few things that are different here. You see the carbon fiber air intake, and that's optimized for really the engine speeds that it runs at. The RPM that we run it on a racetrack is a little bit different than you see it on the road. So that kind of optimizes it there, but a lot of stuff's production. So you see the valve covers, the engine block, all that stuff is straight out of a road car. It goes down the same engine assembly line, which is really cool. I think the engine guys that build these at the plant are really excited to see it in a race car, and so are we. And then some of the more race-specific modifications. So something that's really important in racing is oil cooling in the oil system in an engine. So it has a dry sump oil system, so a smaller oil sump, an oil tank that's actually in the back of the car to keep the engine kind of well lubricated and cold. But besides that, it's very, very close to the production car. And this thing's going to run at full RPM max, and it's 100 degrees here in Texas.
Oh yeah.
So it's made to do those things for 24 hours straight, right? It'll do it forever. So having that cooling capacity, building all that in, those are some important changes for the race car.
And what other added parts have we got in here then?
Yeah, so once you're under hood, you can see quite a few different things that are changed. So from this piece here, this is all production car. Mm-hmm. This is the same thing you'd see on a production car. And there forward, it gets very custom. So you get a custom front subframe. This is all welded and designed to take all the loads from the suspension and the chassis. You see some additional roll bars and cross bracing here to provide additional stiffness between the suspension members. And all those things kind of, you wouldn't want to drive this on the street because it's very stiff, very uncomfortable. You wouldn't see this, you wouldn't take this on the highway cruising. But on a racetrack, all those things are really important to make sure all the loads are transferred through the suspension. All the loads are in the dampers and not in any flexibility. So all that's really important for maximizing performance on the track.
Amazing. How about we pop the hood back on and we take a look at the interior? Alex, from the front of the car to the inside, we're going to start off by talking through the steering wheel. Point out a few things on here for me, maybe that you find interesting, a bit unique. Let's have a look.
Starting at a high level, obviously, what I think is really cool about this is it's shared not only in the GT3, but in our GT4 as well. It's an identical wheel, different says GT4 up there. So at a high level, we'll start with the back. We have our upshift and downshift, pretty basic here with our quick release, and as well as our clutch paddles here. So it's an electronic clutch in this car, which is a little bit unique to the Mustang, not shared across all the different platforms here. And then a lot of the standard buttons you'd see here, like a full course yellow, a neutral button, a drinks button, especially in endurance racing, pretty important.
It's important.
What's really cool with our wheel is we have a function switch down here. So this, you have all these, if all these buttons weren't enough, you've got a million other functions within here that you can control. So everything from different, steering maps, your AC on and off, engine mapping, different controls for torque control within WEC. There's a million things buried in here.
Great. How about we take a look properly inside of the car?
Yeah.
So coming in here, we've popped the steering wheel back on. Talk me through what we are looking at. Because there's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So this is where visually you step back and it looks like a Mustang, you get in here, you go, oh, this is a race car. It's a lot going on, right? So a lot of things are common and shared with the production car, like the dash shape, the dash design is very similar. But beyond that, everything is very functional and very purpose-built. So you see the pedals are actually on sliders. The seat stays static, but the steering wheel and the pedals can move, so you can adapt to drivers, tall drivers, short drivers.
And are they adjusted in every driver change as well? Because you've got quite a height variation with yours.
Yeah. So everyone's got the position where they're comfortable. They've got padding in the seat that they'll change during a driver change as well.
Yeah, I see that one.
But a lot of it's moving the pedals around, getting the steering wheel comfortable. So you'll see someone hop in the car, move the wheel up and down, get the pedals right. In endurance racing, you want to make sure the drivers are comfortable. Because if they're uncomfortable, they're going to be losing a little bit of lap time. That adds up over a race. So making sure they're thinking about driving, not thinking about, oh, I'm getting a little sore, a little uncomfortable. So that's really important.
I noticed when we've been talking about the same similarities and differences between the race car and the road car, must be the same door, right?
Exact same door handle. So it's the same, that's the production car piece. We get this from the plant, put it in every single car. There's quite a few parts actually on the GT3 that are straight off the assembly line, and that's one of them.
Well, it's like that marginal gains thing, right? You paint that bright green, make sure the drivers can't miss it.
Exactly, yeah. The driver change is important, right? You got to do it really quickly so that if they can see it bright green, pull it quickly and get out of the car and get the next guy in. It's seconds gained in pit lane is even better than on track.
So we spent a lot of time, Alex, talking about the differences between the race car, the road car. Why is it that Ford goes racing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and really it's like the foundation of our company. And for us, it's obviously part of it is tech transfer and getting the race to road, road to race connection. There's so many things that we learn on the race cars that we can directly apply into the production cars, and hopefully things that we do on this program will go and make the production car you can go by the dealer even better.
And my favorite question of WEC Icons: what is your favorite part of this car?
Yeah, all right, so my favorite part's easy. It's got to be the Coyote V8. It's the noise, the sound, it's unmistakable. You hear this thing flying down the straight, it's the best. And you hear it in not only the GT3, the GT4s, the Dark Horse Rs. It's so unique, and to me, it's what makes the Mustang a Mustang.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to learn about this beautiful machine.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on WEC Icons.